There are moments in life you will never forget. The moment you've grown up a real man, the moment of your first kiss, the first real girlfriend, the moment of your marriage, and maybe even the moment your child is born. And there are moments that you can't believe they come true, like a scorpion enters the football cave. And with that being said, let me introduce you my guest for tonight. Welcome, Jeremy Bryson.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for having you in our show. And let me guess, I have to say, a wonderful voice.
Thank you.
So I've just prepared my fans. So the cavemen, we actually called them like that because we have the football cave, and I've just prepared them for tonight. So I just tell them we have a special guest, and maybe we just start to introduce yourself. So maybe just let our fans know. So what it's all about. You starting maybe playing football in America, or and just maybe let's start how you come with football. Just come over here to Germany and all the career you have.
Well, I grew up playing football in the United States. I played throughout high school in my home state of Tennessee.
Okay.
Tight end, linebacker.
Okay.
But back then the tight ends they only blocked. We didn't catch many balls.
Okay.
So then I joined the Army.
Okay.
I came over here in 2004 with the Army.
Mm-hmm.
2007, I married a beautiful German lady.
Okay.
Had kids. Left to go back to the States for a little bit. Moved back over here 2018.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
When I was in the States this last time, I coached both my kids in football. One was 4 years old playing tackle, and the other one was 8 years old playing tackle.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And I moved over here. I started coaching as the offensive coordinator with Leonberg Alligators.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the Berserker League here in Bad Württemberg. Went undefeated. Won the Berserker League.
Yeah, I read about that. Over 390 points.
Yeah, we scored a lot of points. I mean,
okay.
The team scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
That system was mostly Fabi's Hoyer's system. The head coach. I came in a little late right after their training camp. And they were a well-oiled machine, and I just didn't mess it up.
Okay.
So then I got the opportunity from Martin Hanselman to come over to the Scorpions. Martin has a great reputation, and I really wanted to learn from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I never coached running backs before, but it's easy to coach the running backs I have because they're all great backs.
Okay.
I've got a top 3 back in Giacomo.
Mm-hmm.
In the GFL, he's been the top 3 back the last 2 years, I believe.
Okay.
We've got an American kid, Josh Tapscott. He was going to play last year, but COVID got us. So he'll be back. I'm telling you, I've got at least 4 backs that could start on a GFL team.
Okay. Yeah.
I really do think that they could start on a GFL team.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
the board approached me about they wanted to start a U13 tackle program, knowing that I had success in the States coaching youth football. So I told them I would do that, and then I got the great opportunity to coach the Stuttgart sisters as their head coach. So, I'm football out, man. Every day, once we start practice, I'm every day on the football field. So I can't wait to get back out there.
Okay, so for the fans of the cave, I've just had to say, if there's any one of them maybe that can't follow that what we just talk about, there's the opportunity to just Google Jeremy Bryson and Stuttgart Scorpions, and you will find the whole details in German, so no problem. But yeah, it sounds great. So maybe let me say about me, it's not the same, but I've just started playing football in the late 90s when I was 17. So I played for 12 years, as a tackle. Because of my body, I'm 6'7" high, maybe. Yeah, in German it's 2 meter. Yeah. So we have here in Solingen. We have the Solingen Paladins. It's a GFL 2 season 2 team. So tell me what is about maybe. If you can say that, the difference between the GFL, so it's only it's not professional, and maybe the NFL or college or high school football. Is there any difference, or maybe something that's the same, maybe?
Well, the difference is, and I don't want to sound mean when I say it. The difference is talent, and the reason is, in the GFL and in the lower leagues, you practice what, maybe 3 times a week, and then you have a game. And if you play high school football, you practice every day. College, you practice every day. If you go to the pros, that's your only job, so you don't even have to go to school anymore. You just get, I've got friends in the NFL today, and right now they're working out, getting ready for the season. So, the talent is a lot different. The speed of the game is different, but I'll tell you, the heart of a German football player is twice that of an American player. Because y'all are doing this for the love of the game, right? The GFL doesn't pay that well, and if you're playing in the lower leagues,
that's right. Yeah.
If you're playing in the lower leagues, you're probably paying to play. Buying your own gear, buying this, buying that. Traveling either by car or a little rinky-dinky bus to away games. You have to line the field yourself and all this other stuff. So it's really the love of the game is a lot better here, I think, for the players than in the States, because you really have to love this game to do everything to play this game. You're putting your body, you're working 7-8 hours a day, and then you come to practice, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, in the States, they don't do that, right? So in high school, they may go to school for 7 hours, but it's not rough on them, on their body, as far as in Leonberg, we had guys that were carpenters, we had guys that were painters, we had guys that worked on construction crews, hard labor, and then they're coming to practice for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's really tough. Yeah. So maybe let me. It was Deion Sanders who said, and it's a sentence I've just put on my desk in my office. So he just said many years ago, I think if you look good, no, if you look good, if you feel good, that's the same right way. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good, and if you play good, they pay good.
Oh yeah.
But it's only in the NFL. So
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like you said, there are many, not so many, but maybe a handful of German players. All the fans out there really maybe know it's Björn Werner or Björn Werner in Germany. So we have Sebastian Vollmer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a role model for me for the same position he just played, and we have also latest news actually. Moritz Böhringer, he's back in Germany right now.
Yeah.
He was drafted from the Vikings, and he played for the Bengals, but only in the training team. So yeah, he's right back in Germany for the Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns. I guess he's in your South League, huh?
Yeah,
maybe?
he went to a rival.
Yeah. Rivalry, yeah.
Schwäbisch Hall is our rival. That's a game that we always have in every team, other than the sisters, because Schwäbisch Hall doesn't have a ladies team. But our U13 team, flaggy team, to our juniors, to our seniors, to our U16, it's always we got to beat Hall, right? So
okay,
and,
like rival. Yeah.
And Hall's been a great team for the last 4 or 5 years here, from what I'm hearing.
Of course.
So they are them and Braunschweiger. Those are I guess what you would say the back when Brady was on the Patriots. The Patriots, and so if you want to succeed, you got to beat those teams.
Of course. So that is also a good one. You just called about Brady. So I have to say I'm a real Patriots diehard fan. So I'm a fan since the year 2000. So for me there was nothing else than Brady and Belichick. So I just cried a whole of tears when he just left the Patriots. But do you got maybe a favorite NFL team or maybe a favorite college team? So
NFL is the Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay.
When I was growing up, we didn't have a football team in Tennessee, and the closest team was Atlanta, and back then they sucked, right? They were horrible, man.
Yeah, we all remember. So of course.
So John Elway came. He got drafted by the New York Yankees to play baseball, and we have a minor league baseball team in my hometown, and they were playing the Yankees minor league team. And John Elway came, and I got his autograph, and my mom was like, "He plays football." I was like, "No," and that was like the first person to ever give me an autograph. So when she told me he played for the Broncos, I just started watching the Broncos. I've gotten to meet him once or twice. I was stationed in Colorado when I was my first duty station in the Army, and we were about 45 minutes away from Denver, so we would always go to games and everything.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
And in college,
so,
I would say the University of Tennessee and the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. That's actually where I graduated college from. Our most notable alumnus from UTC is Terrell Owens.
Ah, okay. I know him. Yeah.
Hall of Famer. He went there.
Of course.
My favorite player of all time is Peyton Manning.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, so, he went to Tennessee, and in fact, where I lived in Tennessee, when he had his neck injury and all the neck surgeries, he did most of his rehab down by where I live. He only lived about 10, 15 minutes away from me, so you would see him every now and then.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great, really great. So, yeah, I was in the lucky position just to meet my, I don't want to say hero, but my role model, Sebastian Vollmer, in Cologne. So there was also Queen with St. Brown. Oh, it's really hard to say. And they were at Foot Locker. And sign some autographs. You could just take some photos, and maybe that's one of the photos I just put on Instagram. So it was one of the greatest days of my life for me, just to see him. Also, I've never been, actually, I have to say, never been in the US. So, and I'm just went to 41 in a few months. So I have to just visit only one time, United States. So just to watch a college or maybe an NFL game. So everybody told me it was a great experience.
Oh, it is.
So
if you go to a college football game in the South, it's like Tennessee, Alabama, you're looking at 100 and some odd thousand people in the stadium.
Oh yeah.
No matter if they're playing a nobody team or not, everybody, it's jam packed. The parties in the parking lot, and then when you go to an NFL game, it's a little toned down, but it's still, it's still awesome to go because you look and you're like, oh man, they're NFL players. Oh man, they're college players. But the football field is the same size, right? So, the football field is the same size, the ball's the same, the GFL ball is the same as the college ball, it's like, wow, these guys are on the same size field I am, but they look so much bigger when they play.
Yeah. Okay. Just remember that I saw a video on YouTube. Maybe you just see it too. It was the entrance of Virginia Tech to the music of Metallica, Enter Sandman. And you just see that thousands of people just jump. And it makes me goosebumps every time I see that, because it's so... I think a lot of college stadiums are 80,000, 90 till 100,000. It's very big.
The football stadium at the University of Tennessee holds 103,000 people.
Okay, yeah. So,
and the Georgia Dome, or where the Falcons play, is one of the biggest ones. They hold about 65,000. So, but the tickets are more expensive to go to the NFL games than it is to college games. When I went back to the States in 2011, I went back to school, and as I was a student at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, I could go to football games for free because I was a student. So I would go every single game. And, in fact, one of my friends, Keontae Davis, he played for the Patriots and was on the last Super Bowl winning team. He was on their practice squad last year for a little bit. Jakob Johnson, a good German.
Of course, yeah. He's a Scorpion.
He's a Scorpion, and he's on the Patriots. I would tell you from my experience, in 2004, I was stationed near Hamburg, Germany, and they had a football team. I don't know what league they were in, but the talent there, I was like, they were wanting a bunch of us Americans to play, and I went down there to look, and I was like, no, I can't play with these guys. They don't know the rules. They're gonna hurt me. And to come back and see the talent that's in Germany now, man.
Only 12 years, more than 2004. It's 16 years later, maybe. Yeah.
If college scouts could have enough money to come over here and really scout these German guys, I'm telling you, there'd be a lot more Germans playing in college and in the NFL, because there's talent here.
Yeah, that's right. So
there's a whole bunch of talent here.
Of course, and that's maybe also a reason why Bjorn Werner just have his own company, Gridiron Import, and there's also a DVD here on the German market where you can see that German talents who just went to the US, went to the colleges, not even FBS 1 level, but maybe auch second level, and maybe just one time we have more than 3 or 4 German players in the NFL. So
if that kid from Schwabish Hall goes over to TCU and tears it up, I'm telling you, more people will come over here. More scouts will come over here because it really takes one. I mean, if you look at the route that like Jakob Johnson took, where he went to high school in the States for a couple of years, so like you have to look at it. Yes, he's a German kid, but he went and played American high school football and got noticed. It wasn't that he got noticed on the juniors team or the U19 team. So, you know, this kid from Schwabish Hall, he got noticed playing here in Germany. Yes, he went to some camps and stuff over there in the States, but you know, I think he'll do good. He tore up the Scorpion U19 team last year, or in 2019. So, you know, I think he'll do good over there, and if he does good over there, you know, you've got some linemen from from Germany over in the States right now. I see them all the time, but you know, I love linemen. Actually, I got a lot of love for offensive linemen because as an offensive guy, the lineman makes everything go right. Because you can have Tom Brady in the back there, but if the line's not protecting for him, he's not going to be able to throw the ball, right? And you can have Derrick Henry, but if he doesn't have a hole to go through, he's not going to go very far, right? So it all to me, it all starts on offense. It all starts with how good your offensive line is.
So I have to say this is now for my colleague and podcast partner Robin. Many greets to you right now. I think you heard what Jeremy just said. Lineman, because he played defense line and we have also a conversation about that. Me as the offensive lineman and he as a defense lineman. So I appreciate that you have so much love for the O-line.
The O-line is the hardest position to play, right? Because you have to react to what the defensive lineman does, right? He gets the running start. He gets the advantage, right? You're going back on your heels and trying to push him forward when he's already coming forward. So you have the offensive line position is harder to play because they get beat down the most. They get hit every play. An offensive lineman gets hit every play that they're out on the field, right? Somebody's hitting them, and 9 times out of 10, they're getting they're getting held, pushed, pulled, everything else from the defense. But you know, you hardly ever see a defensive lineman get called for anything. It's always the offensive lineman.
Yeah. So that's also why I just crushed my left knee 2 times, and after 12 years playing football with 29, I have to retire. I guess in English it's called ACL. So that the knee when it's so 2 times because of a blindside hit from the side when I just protect the quarterback, and I just played most of it left tackle, also left guard, and that's what you just say. It's very very hard to play, and it wasn't professional. It was also in not even a Bundesliga or not even a second Bundesliga, so even lower. So it was really hard. There's one thing I just want to talk about. Let me just get back to the Solingen Paladins, because there was a running back. I think it's interesting for you. He's called Daniel Rennig. He was also very in love with our fans. So and he just went to Allgäu Comets. So it's also maybe in your
Yes,
league. Oh,
yes,
is it
they're
right?
in the
Of course.
Southern
Okay.
League. They're the Southern Division.
So yeah. So Southern Division. So maybe you will play them. So yeah, and he was a really good running back, of course. So yeah. Also, even speaking about running backs, maybe is there any NFL player or we say a running back in the NFL? We say, okay, that's my man, or I have so much love for him. Even I don't know, from the Titans.
Well, I would say Eddie George. When I was growing up, it was Eddie George from the Titans. I love the way that he played. Um, I watched Alvin Kamara at University of Tennessee.
Hmm.
You
Oh,
know,
okay.
to me, the best back in the league right now is Derrick Henry. Um,
Yeah,
and
of course. King Stiff Arm,
yeah,
we just called him in Germany.
I refereed a high school game of his, and I thought that he was a defensive tackle because he was so big. I mean,
Okay.
he's huge.
Yeah.
And actually, I got ran over
Mm.
by him in that game. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, and afterwards he came up and apologized to me, but I was the umpire during the game, and he leveled me,
Mm.
and I don't even think he felt that he hit me. He just might have noticed that I went to the ground because he in high school he was a beast, and then he went to Alabama, and I was like,
Okay.
ugh, Grovey. There's that picture of him
Mm.
standing right next to
Mm.
Mark Ingram, where it makes Mark Ingram look like a little
Mm.
kid compared to him.
Okay, yeah. So also in Germany we have that a lot of memes about Derrick Henry stiff-armed Josh
Oh
Norman.
yeah.
Maybe you remember the Bill. So that was so funny just to see and that meme. So yeah, like maybe there was a meme like a doorman who wouldn't let you in the club and things like that. So even speaking about Alvin Kamara, my wife is I don't think big fan, but especially a fan of the Saints. So you think he's well paid, and then maybe we just see a lot of good stuff from him in the next years, or even in the Super Bowl, or
It
just
all
like that.
depends on how Sean Payton uses him, right? When you have a quarterback
Mm-hmm.
as old as Breeze, they're gonna have next year. I see they're gonna have to rely on him more. Um, him and Michael
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, and Thomas was hurt a lot last year, and Kamara with his
Of course.
running style, he's a small back, but he runs big, right? He, you know, and when you
Mm-hmm.
have those type of backs, you got to watch about injuries, and that was a hang that's been a little bit of a hang up with him, but you know, when you have
Mm-hmm.
when Mark Ingram was there and you had where they could trade off and he didn't have to be a feature back. He
Mm-hmm.
had some great year. He had a great couple of years there with Ingram. So they need to find another big back for him, so that take some pressure off of him. So you don't have to use him on those short yardage plays or goal line plays to run up the middle because his body's not going to be able to take that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, yeah. So, could you maybe tell us such a typical day of a running back coach or even a coach in the GFL? So, how starts the day and how does it look like to be a coach in a GFL? Maybe on a
Well,
game
I
day.
haven't
So,
coached a game in the GFL yet because of
mm,
COVID. But I can tell you what I do
mm-hmm.
game day. You know, um,
Okay.
I usually like to be at the football field at least 4 hours before the game. Uh, I usually like to have a meeting with my running backs, go over some film, you know, if there's any particular plays or guys that we want to focus on, uh, go over that. Um, Make sure that they're stretching out, you know. Uh, then we have our coaches meeting, for the coach to really give us the final game plan because us coaches we're always thinking, right? We're always watching like, oh man, this. So you usually get your final game plan of what you're going to do, and then you go out there, you make sure they're stretched, ready to go, and you know when I was an offensive coordinator, calling plays, it was all focused on 11 men on the field to see what the best thing to do. So, uh, as a position coach, I'm I'm ready to just focus on my guys, and help them out. But um, when that whistle blows, man, really and truly, coaching goes out the window, right? So I mean, it does
Okay.
when as far as like, I'll tell them some things when they come off the field and stuff like that, but they're seeing it better than me, right? I can say, hey, look, you have this cutback lane, and they're like, look, coach, I really don't have that cutback lane because that guy's really fast, or, the ground is really loose. So if I try to cut back, I might slip or I might twist something, you know. And so you know, even as the offensive coordinator with Leonberg, I would just really trust my guys, you know. And as a coach,
Okay.
the way I look at it, I've got all the practices and pregame, right? That's my time to get you better. And then when that whistle blows, now your job starts, right? So, as a coach, really and truly, we make our money during the week, right? Uh, we make our money because we can call every play, but we can't go out there and throw the ball. We can't catch the ball. We can't run. We can't block. It's all the players on game time, right? So uh, I'm really excited to see how Martin does during the game and everything, and how he manages the game. Um, you know, so but that's usually what I do, and I'm a film geek, so I like to watch film all the time. You know, um, so
Okay.
but yeah, that's me on an average game day.
Okay. So, would you say we could see a typical Jeremy waving, yelling, and screaming on the sideline?
I
So,
get a little heated on
like
the
you said.
sidelines. Um, I
Okay.
have my Nick Saban moments. You know, what
Okay. Yeah. I know. I don't know if our cave friends know, but Nick Saban is a name in
So
our community
I
here.
what's really bad is I'm also a GFL official for the lower leagues. So I know the rules and I know what I'm supposed to do. What the refs are doing. So I get a little mad when they don't do the right thing, or if I think they're not doing their jobs. But I have to
Mm,
remember I've got my coaching hat
mm,
on and not the official hat.
mm,
But I've had let's see, I had two unsportsmanlike flags with Leon Berg, you know. So,
mm,
I'm a little
mm.
feisty.
Okay.
Uh but I've noticed that that's the big difference here in Germany, right? Is like players aren't used to being yelled at, players aren't used to
Mm,
being disciplined and stuff like that. Uh so I had
mm,
to adjust some of my coaching because of that. Um, and you know, in the States, trash talking is that's part of the game. Here in Germany, yeah, here in Germany, the refs don't
of
like it
course.
when
Yeah.
you trash talk, and so I remember the first
Mm,
game I
mm,
refereed, the one of the coaches was like, "Hey, we're not supposed to trash talk, right?" And I was like, "Oh, my bad," because I was letting his guys trash talk and the other guys trash
Mm,
talk. Because as long as it's not
mm,
racial or something
mm,
like that, it doesn't bother me. So, but yeah, I had to bring myself down a couple of notches so I wouldn't be so hostile.
okay. Okay. So yeah, I guess there was a TV moment in German TV. So we just have as you know the German TV Pro7 Max. Every you just said every given Sunday on Sunday evening. So and the Buccaneers played, I guess, in New Orleans, and there was a moment just Brady said
Yep.
that mother word, and the German commentators just, we couldn't say that on here, we couldn't say that on German TV, so they just repeated it in German, but every fan knows it. So that's the difference. In Germany, you never say like words like asshole, like fuck, like, and yeah. I know it from my teammates when I was playing. They also say the N word to each other, so that was normal, but not for us, not for
Yep.
German normal guys. So
Oh yeah, that's
um
true. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's that's one of the things here. It's the discipline aspect of it. Of I've heard they've called the officials say that American football is the gentleman's game. All that other stuff happens in soccer or foosball. You know.
Yeah, of course. Oh, of course. Yes, that's true. Yeah, in Germany, it's really true. Yeah. So, but I think also that in American the American style of trash talking, like in the NFL, NBA, whatever, it's how can I say it's just not a little bit romantic, but it's like it's easier to make it. In German you never. Yeah, we have some German words for that, but it's not as such as
Yeah.
funny
So
as
that
in the
yeah. So
American
if
style. So
the German word the words don't translate very well. You know. Yeah,
yes,
the
that's
words
it.
don't translate very well. It was funny. In my hometown, there's a Volkswagen plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee,
Mm,
and I was coaching a youth soccer team for my eldest boy, and one of the
mm,
players was from Germany. Their parents were working there, and he was saying Arschloch and all this other stuff.
mm.
And I was just rolling because none of the parents knew what he was saying. None of the officials knew what he was saying. But like I was rolling because I was like, and my wife was like, "What are you laughing at halftime?"
Yeah.
And I was telling her, and she goes, "Oh my God," you know. And of course, she knows what they were saying. He was saying, and she
Yeah.
started listening, and he was saying it loud too. And so after the game, I had to talk to the parents and
Mm,
like, "Hey, I know what he's saying, you know." They don't know what he's saying right now, but he might want to,
mm, mm.
and they might pick it up here pretty soon.
Of course. So that also was a moment in the Super Bowl everybody remembers. The situation between Brady and I forgot the name from the Chiefs
Matthew,
safety.
uh,
You know what I mean?
uh,
Of course, yes, yes, yes. So that's a typical situation. No one knows what they're really talking about, but everyone maybe think what they just talk about, but you will never hear that again because NFL just I heard about it today that the NFL mixed up
yeah,
just
because they
was
were getting in
cancelled
trouble
from
because
that. So yeah.
we have an agency called the FCC, I forget, communications or something, and they regulate what can be seen on
Mm,
TV and what can be said. So like if
mm,
that's why if a show is
okay.
like if a TV show is live, there's like a 10-second delay. Um, so that
Mm,
if we call it the dump
mm,
button, So radio stations have it too. So when they're doing live interviews, if somebody cusses, they hit that button, right, to kind of like blur it out, bleep it out, so it doesn't go out over the airways. So, and cussing's gonna happen. Trash talk's gonna happen. These are grown men, right? And so, I loved hearing the mic'd up, uh, because I like to hear what the players are saying. I like to hear what they're thinking. You know, when I
Of
used to
course.
be on the
Yeah.
sidelines for college football games with UTC, just to hear the coaches talking to the players and the players, 'cause they're not talking about going out. They're talking about what they see, how they want to do it, what this guy's doing, right? And so everybody's locked in the game, and just to hear it's amazing. I would much rather, instead of hearing the commentators, I would much rather just hear all the players mic'd up, what they're saying. So maybe they can do a pay-per-view type
Yeah.
or a pay site to where, they can say, hey, it's going to have foul language, so be ready.
I get the button you just talking about. It was since Nipplegate, since Super Bowl. So even before or even because of that, and there's also funny situations when just my friend Robin and I just watching games on Sunday with some friends, even with friends that not so much involved in that game and doesn't know the rules. So Robin and I, we just called maybe the flag before it even was called by the referee. So we just see the game, and even there's a book in German and also in American, don't look on the ball. So in German, schau nicht auf den Ball. And it's very interesting. Just don't. Maybe the most of the fans just look, okay, where's the ball? Where's the quarterback? Okay, what happened? But players like me, or maybe just you, and also players, or even people who just played football and even play, just don't look on the ball. Even look, okay, what is the defense in the making, and who's in motion, and just like that. So
I've always watched sports, but then when I got into coaching sports, and when I got into being an official in sports, I look at the game totally different, right? I remember in last year's Super Bowl, the 49ers and Chiefs, when Kittle caught that long bomb, right? And he got called for pass interference. Before the flag even came out, we were watching it at a movie theater in Leonberg. And I said, ball's coming back. And they were like, no, it's not, coach. I was like, I'm telling you, pass interference on the offense. And then the flag came out, and they were like, no. And then they replayed it, and I think, see, I told you, So it's kind of like, and with me being in the military, anytime I watch a war film or something, I can point out like, that doesn't happen, and that's not right, and this is gonna happen. So and my kids have learned that as well, because when they watch football with me, I call the fouls, and I call this and I call that. And my oldest son is 13, and he can watch a game and he can tell you when the fouls come, right? And my oldest son, he just turned 9 yesterday. He can tell you what defense they're running, right? And he can tell you like, hey,
cool.
Let's just say it's Kansas City. Hey, Hill's going to run a screen pass, and he's going to get 15 yards because they're playing a cover 2, but they're all the way off, and he's got the bubble, and then foul right there. It hits, and it's because of Madden football, the video game, watching games with me and other guys. People laugh at me when I came to Germany, and when Leonberg started, we started a flag football team there. And I told every single kid there they needed to play Madden football. And everybody's like, why? I was like, because when they play Madden football, they're going to know coverages. They're going to
Okay.
know stuff like that because you see it and you pick it up.
Okay. So is there maybe any situation, maybe also in your career, you say you will never forget and just remember till, your last day? So any maybe situation in my way, it was just in a game. I think I don't know the year exactly, but So the snap starts, so the game starts, and the ball was fumbled, and I just grabbed it, and in Germany we say just when you see a big big man running, it's just funny. So like an old line. So and I remember maybe just to run maybe only 5 yards or maybe less, but it was the moment of my life. So maybe just any situation like that for you
Playing wise, it was
in your career.
my very first interception. I'm a linebacker. I'm a freshman, so I'm like 12 years old, 13 years old. Had really no idea how to play the linebacker position because it was our first game. And I turned around because I heard run, and I turned around, and the quarterback just threw me the ball. And I just looked at the ball and looked at my coach, and he said run, and I ran. And I was like you, I probably only got like 10 yards. But I was like, you know, that was the best thing because it was like I did something. I didn't know what I did, but I had done something, you know. And coaching happened with
Okay,
Leonberg,
yeah.
actually. Um, we were in the Berserker League, and the Offenburg Miners had been regulated to our league, so they were the heavy favorites to go back up to the Regionalliga or the next league. And when they came to our place, we beat them like by 42 points. But when we went to their place, uh, it was a tight game. We won by 1 point, 2 point conversion with less than a minute left in the game, you know. And what was so good about it, or what was so memorable about it, is this Leonberg has never lost a game, truly. And they've never really been in any tight games, right? And it was the hottest day of the year in 2019, and it was just hot. Um, Offenburg just went down to score to take a 7 point lead, and there was like less than a minute left, about a minute 10 maybe left, and none of the players had been in that position before. So like that was my time to like just calm everybody down, tell everybody we got it. Our quarterback made every play he could. We went down there and we scored, and the team automatically went to set up for a field goal, and I called a timeout. And so my head coach Bobby is looking at me like, "Why did you call a timeout?" I was like, "Because we're not going to tie this game." And so I went to the team and I said, "Hey, look, guys, even if we lose this game, we're still going to win the league, right? Because we beat them by 42 points at our place, right?" I said, "Do you want to tie or do you want to beat them?" And they were like, "Well, we want to beat them, coach." So I said, "Okay, let's go for it." And our quarterback Theo, he ran it in and just barely got the nose of the football over the goal line to win the game. And just to see the emotion of those players, winning a close game, going for a 2 point conversion, it was awesome, you know. And it really made me feel good as a coach because I had the game that at that moment I had the game in my hand.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, just in the meanwhile, I just grabbed the GFL website, and yeah, I've just seen that you or Stuttgart Scorpions just played Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns, Ravens, or Ravensburg Razorbacks, and Saarland Hurricanes in one group. So what do you think the Scorpions will be like in the following, just maybe in a few months following GFL season? So which position maybe, or
made
maybe
we
make
made
it
it
to the
to the playoffs
playoffs?
in
I don't know.
2019. I think we can make it to the playoffs as well. I mean, this would be Ravensburg's first year back because they were in GFL 2 in 2020. They were supposed to be their first year back, but COVID. So they're hungry, and we've got that we've got that team up there. Those unicorns. We got to see them 2 times, and you know, as a coach, you think you can win every game,
Yeah.
right? I would love to I would love to split with them.
Yeah.
I would love to at least win 1 out of 2, and
Mm-hmm.
only because to motivate our players, right? Because it's been a while since we since we've beaten Schwäbisch Hall, right? So I believe we have Munich in
Okay.
our league as well, and so I mean we have some good teams.
Yeah. Cowboys. Yes. Mm.
But we've got one of the best teams in all of the GFL in our league. Um, so it's almost like the AFC East when Brady was there, right? When he was with the Patriots, it was like you're looking for that number 2 spot because the Patriots were always favored to win the East. So
Yeah.
of course, Schwäbisch Hall, especially getting Moritz back, they're going to be heavily favored to probably even win the German Bowl this year. So we as I tell my team, we
Yeah.
have nothing to lose, right? Nobody thinks we can beat them anyway. So they have all the pressure not to lose. We have the pressure's on them, not us.
That's right. Yeah. So I also hopefully hope the best for my team here, those Paladins in GFL 2. And I'm very happy. Maybe if COVID just, I don't know if it went away, but if it's possible to travel. We just want to travel to Berlin and Hamburg. So with the Paladins, and maybe even it's possible just to meet the Scorpions. But I think the Paladins have to go to the GFL one, maybe even in a few years. But I don't know. Maybe my last question, or the last thing I just want to talk about with you is what do you think maybe German football in the next 5, maybe next 10 years? So where do you see German football maybe in the next level?
I think Germany has the best
getting better
football
and
in
stronger?
Europe. I don't think there's any doubt
Okay.
about that. I mean, I know you got Warsaw, and you've got the Austrian team and the Czech team and a couple from Finland, but ultimately I think Germany has the best talent.
Mm.
So I would say with if the Elf gets going like it's supposed to, the GFL kind of cooperates with the Elf. I don't see why German football is not going to be like a even bigger deal than it is now. Um, you know, I don't see why it won't have a big group, a big following, because once you're successful, everybody wants to come watch you, right? So, and having the GFL, I think, has a TV deal now. The Elf has a TV deal with ProSieben Max. So we're going to get out
Of
there.
course.
And I think when
Yeah.
people really see the level of talent, that this is just isn't, everybody thinks it's just a whole bunch of guys that were, like these little local soccer teams that are past their prime, just getting together, throwing the football. But no, there's some really good talent here, you know.
Mm,
And I actually see that maybe in like 4 or
mm,
5 years, there won't be any import talent over here to play. There'll be enough talent to keep the leagues going on their own, you
mm,
know? I mean, that's my goal as the youth coordinator
mm,
for
mm.
the Scorpions is get these players good enough to where we don't have to find imports, you know, where these German kids
Mhm.
are taking the league by storm.
Mhm. Of course. Okay. There's just one last question I just have to ask. Yeah, if there is there any I mean, a favorite movie, a football movie maybe you have? You just watched
Um,
just more than 10
I
times maybe
think
or
my
just like that?
favorite football movie is Remember the Titans. Um, Now my favorite funny football
Okay.
movie
Hmm.
is
That's great. Yeah.
Waterboy, uh, from Adam Sandler. When I want,
Okay. Yeah.
I
Adam
mean,
Sandler.
even
Yeah.
if I see it on
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
because I can, on Netflix or something like that, I've got to watch it. But Remember the Titans,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because
Okay. Hmm.
and I don't know if you've ever watched We Are Marshall. If you ever get a chance, the Marshall football
No.
team,
No.
I think
No.
in
No. Mm-mm.
1970 something, uh, their whole football team died in a plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to start the whole program over again.
Okay.
And
Ah.
the movie is
Mm.
about that, them starting the
Yeah.
football team over again. So it's a really good movie. But my all-time favorite, Remember
Okay.
the Titans, you know.
Okay.
I would love it if a football team would come out like they
Okay.
do.
Mm. Mm.
Remember when they would do that little dance. So yeah, Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. For me, just for the fans, just yeah. I for
Yeah,
as a
Blindside,
O-liner,
Michael
it's
Orr. Yeah.
what should I say? It's a blindside. Well, uh, yeah. 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 And so, with that being said, yeah, I'm very thankful again to have you here. It was very interesting, um, very funny. So just to talk with a yeah, let me say all American or real American, just about German football, the whole thing. Um, and yeah, is there anybody? So we have in our episodes when we just record normal episodes, we just have we call it
Uh-huh.
in German we call it Gruß der Woche, so greets of the week maybe. So is there
Um,
anybody you want to say
well,
hello or something like that?
my quarterback on my sister's team, Nora Surma, uh, she just took a
Hmm.
position as an intern on the GFL team. Uh, I think she's actually the first, maybe she might be the
Mm-hmm.
first female coach in the GFL. We'll have to look at that. So breaking boundaries, man. Stuttgart's got a female on every single one of their coaching staffs.
Okay. Okay. So greetings out there. Okay. Yeah, and I'm very. Oh, I just hope just to have another episode with you again. Maybe also with my colleague Robin. So yeah, maybe about Elf. Maybe about
Hey man,
when the next
I
NFL
love
season
talking
starts.
football. I
So
love talking
if
football.
it's
So,
possible.
this is you're actually the very first
Okay.
podcast I've ever done in Germany about football. So Uh,
Okay. So that, and that's just one. I just don't want to forget it that because maybe the final question. I hope so. Said it now 3 times. So but the final is because I was very glad and also very I don't know say confused because just that there's a running back coach, a German or GFL coach, just asked me to get in the podcast. So what was it about that you say? Oh, okay, let me say
well,
hello and ask if I can make it to the show.
I saw some of your stuff on Instagram. I don't know if one of us followed each other. I think I was following you guys because I seen you were on somebody else's page, and I liked some of the stuff that you were posting, and so I was like, hey, they've got a podcast. They like to talk football. Let me see if I can get on there, because you know, uh, even though we've got a lot of
Okay.
players here in Germany, football is still a small regional thing, So the more time you can get out there and you can get the word about football and stuff out there, I'd love to do it. I'm a very big proponent of this game and getting the message out there that Germany has talent. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of weird coming from an American,
Of
pumping up
course.
German talent, but when you see talent, you know it, and you've got it here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. So I'm very touched about that, really. Yeah, I don't know if it's too much if I say you make it too hard. But yeah, football is. If you talk about football, it's all the same. At the end of the day, even if you're American, German, it doesn't matter. So that's what we in German or the German TV man like Patrick
Oh
Isume, Björn
yeah.
Werner, the whole stuff. Just say
They
football is
they ask me all
family,
the
and
time,
that's
my wife is
what
like,
it's
because
all about. Yeah.
I'm learning German, so maybe as we continue down this road, I'll be able to do some German stuff with you.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, how are you coaching all these players, German players, and you don't speak the language? I was like, I do speak the language.
Of
And she
course.
goes, what do you mean? I was like,
Uh-huh.
football is a language, and and football is football no matter where you go, right? Uh,
Of course. Yeah.
we just might have a different accent when we talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and I truly believe that, and
Mm-hmm.
what Patrick says, football is family. Those 35, 40, 50 players that are on your
Mm-hmm.
team, they really are your family. Uh, because you all might
Mm-hmm.
not like each other all the time. But when that whistle blows and you put that uniform on with the same name on the back,
Mm.
the Paladins, the
Yeah.
Scorpions, the Unicorns,
Mm-hmm.
you're all family, right? American, German, French, you're all the same when you put
Of
that
course.
uniform on.
Of course. Yeah. So wonderful words, and maybe just to end that episode,
Oh, I
maybe
spreche
it's
ein
possible to
bisschen
hear some
Deutsch.
German words from
uh,
you.
Now I'm learning, so my kids are
Ah,
getting on me because I don't
okay.
know I don't know a lot of German, so I only know the bad words. Okay, so I only know the bad words,
Okay.
so I'll keep it clean. But no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
learn. So maybe
Yeah. Okay.
one day we'll do
Okay.
a whole episode in German.
Hmm. Okay. So and at the end, with that being said, there's also we just end our episodes with maybe some words of myself, just some funny words. So yeah, Jeremy, thank you for having you in our podcast episode for tonight. Um, Thanks all our fans out there We'll be back on Saturday with the next special episode in German. And so with that being said, let me say ADA.